What's like the league reaction to what the Lakers have done in the offseason?
Choice is LeBron James's right now. It's up to him on a choice of which team he wants to play for.
We want to let these guys grow together. We want to let them have some continuity. They have no flexibility. This is their team.
The Los Angeles Lakers have officially wrapped up what has been one of the busiest off-seasons in recent memory. Their latest move, signing Matisse Thybulle to a one-year veteran minimum contract, appears to be the final piece of the puzzle. With hundreds of millions of dollars committed and the roster almost entirely reshaped around Luka Dončić, it's finally time to evaluate whether the Lakers actually improved or simply created a different set of problems. At first glance, the offseason looks productive. The front office addressed several weaknesses, added experienced players, and strengthened the team's defense. However, once you look deeper, one major issue continues to stand out. The Lakers still haven't solved arguably their biggest weakness: finding a true athletic forward who can defend multiple positions and compete against the elite wings in the Western Conference. Let's begin with Matisse Thybulle. On a veteran minimum contract, this is excellent value. Throughout his NBA career, Thybulle has earned a reputation as one of the league's best perimeter defenders. His ability to force turnovers, disrupt passing lanes, and pressure opposing guards makes him a valuable defensive weapon whenever he's on the floor. Another encouraging sign is his improvement as a three-point shooter. Early in his career, defenses were comfortable, leaving him completely open. Recently, though, he has developed into a respectable outside shooter, making him less of a liability on offense. When you combine improved shooting with elite defensive instincts, the Lakers are getting a quality role player without spending significant money. The problem isn't Thybulle himself. The problem is that he doesn't address the Lakers' biggest need. At 6'5", he's another perimeter defender on a roster already filled with guards and smaller wings. What Los Angeles desperately needed was a bigger, athletic forward capable of guarding star wings while providing size and versatility. Instead, they added another player who overlaps with skills they already have. Health is another concern. Injuries have limited Thybulle over the last couple of seasons, preventing him from consistently staying on the court. If he misses extended time again, the Lakers may struggle to receive the full value of this signing. One interesting development throughout the offseason has been Luka Dončić's growing influence within the organization. Reports indicate Luka personally spoke with Thybulle before the signing, explaining his role and helping convince him to join the team. This isn't an isolated situation either. Multiple free agent signings have reportedly involved Luka directly. That tells us something important. Luka is no longer simply the Lakers' franchise player. He's becoming one of the organization's biggest decision makers, much like LeBron James was during much of his Lakers tenure. His voice clearly carries significant weight when it comes to building this roster, despite adding Thybulle. Another challenge immediately surfaced. The Lakers now have more guaranteed contracts than the NBA allows entering the regular season. Every contract on the roster is fully guaranteed, meaning they can't simply waive a fringe player without financial consequences. Instead, they'll likely need to complete another trade before opening night. Reports suggest that Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Knecht have become the most likely trade candidates. The Lakers are reportedly exploring ways to package one or both players, potentially attaching future second-round picks to create additional roster flexibility. Ironically, Vanderbilt is one of the few players who actually fits the defensive forward profile this team has been searching for. His versatility allows him to defend multiple positions, and when healthy, he's often assigned to the opposing team's best scorer. Trading away one of your best defensive forwards just to search for another defensive forward creates a confusing situation. It raises legitimate questions about the front office's long-term vision that leads directly to the biggest remaining storyline of the offseason: Jonathan Kuminga. For months, Kuminga has been linked to the Lakers because he perfectly fills their biggest need. He's young, athletic, explosive, and capable of defending multiple positions while contributing offensively. So why hasn't the deal happened? There are two major obstacles. First, the Lakers appear unwilling to sacrifice valuable draft assets to complete the trade. Even though Kuminga fits perfectly, management doesn't believe he's worth paying a premium price. Second, the trade structure has become extremely complicated. The original plan reportedly involved moving Jared Vanderbilt to another team as part of a larger sign and trade scenario. Unfortunately for Los Angeles, that team no longer has interest in taking Vanderbilt's contract. Without a willing partner, the entire framework of the deal becomes much harder to complete. Time is also becoming a major factor. The Lakers aren't the only franchise monitoring Kuminga's situation. Other teams remain interested, and every passing day reduces the chances of loss. Angeles finding the perfect trade, adding, even more uncertainty is the ongoing LeBron James situation. League insiders believe LeBron's decision could indirectly affect Kuminga's market. If another contender misses out on LeBron, that team could immediately shift its attention toward Kuminga, creating additional competition for the Lakers. In other words, Los Angeles isn't negotiating in isolation. They're racing against both time and rival organizations. Looking at the offseason as a whole, the Lakers certainly deserve credit for addressing several important needs. They upgraded the center position with Walker Kessler. Although acquiring him required a massive financial commitment, along with valuable future draft assets, Kessler should improve the team's rim protection and rebounding immediately. But many analysts believe the price was extremely expensive. The Lakers also added additional shooting by bringing in Quentin Grimes and Colin Sexton. Both players provide scoring and perimeter offense, helping space the floor around Luka Dončić. Defensively, players like Thybulle and Zaire Williams strengthen the perimeter rotation without requiring major financial investments. Yet, despite all these additions, the biggest hole on the roster remains unanswered. The Lakers still lack the athletic two-way forward capable of matching up with elite stars throughout the Western Conference. Against teams featuring larger wings, this weakness could become even more obvious once the playoffs begin. Keeping Austin Reeves was another positive decision. He continues developing into one of the team's most reliable offensive players and has proven he can consistently produce at a high level. His chemistry with both Luka and the rest of the roster should remain an important part of the Lakers' future. So how should this offseason ultimately be graded? At the moment, it lands somewhere around a C+, possibly reaching a B if you're feeling generous. The Lakers unquestionably improved in several areas. Their defense should be stronger, their center rotation is better, and they've added more shooting around Luka Dončić. However, they also spend enormous resources, remain financially restricted, and still haven't solved the roster issue that mattered most. Until they acquire a true athletic forward or prove they can succeed without one, it's difficult to consider this offseason a complete success. The roster is certainly more talented than it was a few months ago, but talent alone doesn't guarantee championship contention. Unless the Lakers find a way to complete one more impactful move before the season begins, questions about this team's ceiling will continue to follow them into opening night.
One of the league reactions I heard was how much they gave up for Walker Kessler, not necessarily because he wasn't worth it, because they don't have any assets now to improve that team. When you talk to the Lakers, JJ Redick and Luka Dončić were very involved in helping to recruit these players, and we want to let these guys grow together. We want to let them have some continuity. They have no flexibility. This is their team.
The Lakers may have completed their offseason, but they've also backed themselves into a difficult financial situation. Right now, they have one more guaranteed player than the NBA allows, and because they're so far above the salary cap, simply waiving someone won't create any meaningful cap space. That leaves the front office with very few options. Instead of making easy roster adjustments during the season, they'll likely need to complete another trade just to become roster compliant. This lack of flexibility is becoming a serious concern. Championship teams usually leave themselves room to improve throughout the season, whether through trades or buyout signings. The Lakers don't have that luxury. Every move now comes with significant financial consequences, making it much harder to react if problems arise. A comparison can be made to the New York Knicks, who also spent aggressively by adding Mikal Bridges, signing Aga Nunabi, and later trading for Karl Anthony Towns. However, one major difference made their strategy possible. Jalen Brunson willingly accepted far less money than he could have earned, giving New York valuable financial flexibility to continue building its roster. The Lakers didn't receive that same sacrifice. Austin Reeves signed a contract that reflected his market value, which is understandable considering it was the biggest deal of his career after entering the league as an undrafted player. Still, under the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, championship contenders often need star players or key contributors willing to leave money on the table so the organization can continue improving the roster. Now, much of the Lakers' remaining hope depends on Jonathan Kuminga. If a deal can be completed under favorable financial terms, He could finally fill the athletic forward role the team has been searching for all summer. It's also important to recognize that responsibility doesn't fall entirely on general manager Rob Pelinka. Reports throughout the offseason suggest Luka Dončić was heavily involved in recruiting players and helping shape the roster. This wasn't simply the front office making decisions on its own. Luka reportedly played a major role in bringing several of these players to Los Angeles. If this roster ultimately falls short of expectations, the responsibility will be shared by both management and the franchise's new superstar. The bigger question is whether this team can truly compete in the Western Conference. To answer that, you have to focus on the Oklahoma City Thunder, the defending NBA champions and the team that eliminated the Lakers from the playoffs. If Los Angeles can't beat Oklahoma City, winning the conference becomes extremely unlikely. There is, however, one reason for optimism. Luka Dončić has already proven he can defeat this Thunder core in the postseason. During the 2024 playoffs, he led the Dallas Mavericks past Oklahoma City in 6 games, despite entering the series as the lower seed. That experience gives the Lakers confidence because very few players in the Western Conference can say they've already found a way to beat this talented Thunder group when it matters most. Even though the Lakers made several improvements this offseason, their biggest challenge still comes down to one team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. If Los Angeles wants to reach the NBA Finals, sooner or later they'll have to go through the defending champions. That's why every move the Lakers made should be judged based on one question: does it help them beat OKC? There is one reason Lakers fans should feel optimistic. The Thunder aren't quite as deep as they were when they won the championship. Facing major salary cap restrictions under the NBA's second apron, Oklahoma City was forced to make difficult financial decisions. To reduce payroll, they traded away one of their most valuable defensive players, Lu Dort. That loss is significant. For years, Dort has been one of the NBA's toughest perimeter defenders. His physical defense, relentless effort, and ability to slow down elite scorers made him a nightmare matchup for opposing superstars. Whenever teams faced Luka Dončić, Dort was usually the first player assigned to guard him. Now, he's no longer part of the Thunder. Oklahoma City also lost important rotation pieces like Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. While neither player was the face of the franchise, both provided valuable depth throughout the season. As a result, the defending champions are no longer as complete as they were just a few months ago. That creates an opportunity for the Lakers. Luka Dončić has already proven he knows how to beat this Thunder core in a playoff series. Back in 2004, he led the Dallas Mavericks past Oklahoma City despite entering the matchup as the lower seed. His experience against this group gives the Lakers confidence that they already have a superstar capable of challenging the Western Conference's best team. However, expecting history to repeat itself isn't that simple. This version of Oklahoma City is much more experienced than the team Luka defeated 2 years ago. They aren't an inexperienced young squad anymore, they're champions. Winning a title has given their core confidence, chemistry, and playoff experience that can't be overlooked. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has developed into one of the league's most dominant players, while Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren continue improving every season. Even after losing several key role players, the Thunder still possess one of the strongest young cores in basketball. So yes, Oklahoma City became weaker, but they didn't suddenly become easy to beat. The gap between both teams has narrowed slightly, but the Thunder remain the standard every Western Conference contender must chase. For the Lakers, that's where the offseason becomes frustrating. Adding Matisse Thybulle certainly improves their perimeter defense, but one player alone can't solve every defensive problem. Luka Dončić needs bigger, athletic wings who can defend stars like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams throughout an entire playoff series. That's exactly why Jonathan Kuminga continues to be such an important target. His size, athleticism, and defensive versatility make him the type of player the Lakers are still missing. Without someone capable of guarding multiple positions, Los Angeles risks placing far too much pressure on Luka and the rest of the roster whenever they face elite teams. The Western Conference has also become even more competitive. The San Antonio Spurs continue building around Victor Wembanyama, one of the league's brightest young superstars. While adding experienced veterans to strengthen the roster, Houston has transformed into a serious contender after pairing Kevin Durant with Alperen Sengun and Amen Thompson, giving them one of the most balanced lineups in the conference. Minnesota remains dangerous behind Anthony Edwards and an improved supporting cast, while Denver still has Nikola Jokic, arguably the best player in basketball. Every playoff matchup in the West will be a battle. That makes roster construction even more important. Looking at the Lakers' offseason as a whole, it's difficult to call it a failure. They unquestionably became deeper, improved defensively, and surrounded Luka Dončić with role players who fit his style much better than last season's roster. But there are still major concerns. They're currently over the roster limit, have almost no financial flexibility, and have already committed significant future assets to improve the team. More importantly, they still haven't solved the one weakness that could determine whether they become legitimate championship contenders. Jonathan Kuminga remains the missing piece. If the Lakers decide not to pursue him because of the asking price, they'll enter the season hoping improved chemistry and better role players are enough to close the gap with Oklahoma City. That strategy could work during the regular season. The Lakers should win plenty of games, remain one of the most entertaining teams in the league, and give Luka Dončić every opportunity to showcase why he's one of basketball's biggest stars. The real question comes in the playoffs. Can this roster survive 4 rounds against the toughest conference in the NBA? Right now, the answer remains uncertain. The Thunder have shown small signs of vulnerability, creating an opening for challengers. But opening a door is one thing, having the complete roster needed to walk through it is something entirely different. Until the Lakers solve their biggest roster issue, they'll remain a very good team with championship potential, but not necessarily the favorites to represent the Western Conference.